Wow, what a weird video to be filming. I just woke up about 30 minutes ago, and it's becoming a little bit more real now, the situation that I'm actually in, which I feel like a lot of people go through in your life where you're just like, you don't really notice something happening until like it's really happening. And I think that's kind of how I feel about this channel hitting 1 million subscribers, to be honest. So I've been kind of, putting that thought on the back burner of my head for a long time. Back in late August, I made a video talking about how the channel hit 900,000 subscribers, and to think that within 2 months, we have just completely banged out another 100,000 people subscribed to the channel, after I took probably combined about 2.5 weeks off of that time without uploading or uploading very scarcely, that I would say makes it even more impressive and means a lot more to me than it already does. So I kind of wanted to just use this video as an opportunity to explain how I started on YouTube, how it changed my life, and all the other, I guess, smaller things that have come with it now. Because as much as I try to pretend like YouTube is just something that happens online and once I get off the computer, it doesn't exist anymore, or at least it doesn't exist until I get back onto the internet, because I feel like it's extremely unhealthy to live vicariously through a YouTube channel and just sit there at all hours and minutes of the day, pondering it and whatnot. I mean, of course, I use Twitter and stuff, and I guess my account on there is based around the channel, and, I'll check my stats occasionally throughout the day to make sure everything's going okay. But I try not to let the concept of me having all these subscribers on YouTube really kind of make me, I guess, lose my sense of myself, because a lot of people do that. I mean, you look at a lot of these creators who have blown up over time, and, they let this get to them. They let their accomplishments, I guess, become the best of them, and I don't think that that's good. So, to kind of preface everything, I am 20 years old, and the fact that I've done what I've done shocks a lot of people. It's hard to talk to people about what I do. It's hard to tell people in real life that I'm a YouTuber for a living, that it usually doesn't go over as well as I'd like for it to, because, of course, people ask to see your channel, people ask you what you do. A lot of people really just don't understand how YouTube really functions and how people do this for a living. Surprisingly enough, one of the most understanding people in my life about this entire thing is actually my grandfather. Old people, they have a stigma for being like, oh, how do I use this gosh darned telephone again? But like, my grandpa is honestly one of the smartest people that I know, and the amount that he actually like looks into technology and things like that surprises me sometimes, because I don't really expect it, but like he fully comprehends like what's going on here, and he seems to like the idea, you know what I'm saying? So I'm 20 years old, and I dropped out of college to pursue YouTube, which at the time maybe wasn't the best idea, but it completely worked out for the best. And honestly, there's nothing I'd rather be doing right now than making YouTube videos and trading stocks for a living. I wouldn't rather be doing anything else. Coming from a family where, off the top of my head, I can think of maybe one or two people, even in my extended family, that I know have even graduated from college, the idea of me dropping out of college in computer technology, which would have probably secured me a pretty good job somewhere, to make videos of me playing video games and talking about things on the internet, definitely was a shock to a lot of people in my family. A lot of them probably didn't believe I was going to actually make this work out, but I did, and I'm doing much better now than I probably would be doing in some IT tech field, something like that. So I come from a working class family in the Rust Belt of Ohio, which, if you don't know what the Rust Belt is, like if you don't live in the United States or you're just not familiar with like the areas of the country, the Rust Belt is a big strip of the country in which a lot of the cities and places were built on the backs of manufacturing jobs, real blue-collar work, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, over the last 50 or 60 years, a lot of manufacturing jobs, especially here in the United States, have pretty much disappeared because a lot of work is being outsourced to places like Mexico and China. So I come from a place where the poverty rate is 1 in 4 people, meaning that 1 in 4 people where I come from can't pay their bills, struggle to pay their bills, struggle to have food on the table. I went to a public school where over half the kids got free or reduced lunch because their parents simply couldn't afford things like that. They couldn't afford school lunch, which I don't even understand why people have to pay for school lunch. That's ridiculous. But the odds of you becoming a victim of crime where I'm from is 1 in 18, which it may sound kind of, oh, that's not that bad, but I mean, the crime rate here is like 4 times higher than the national average. And, with all those circumstances, it feels pretty weird to have been somebody who actually kind of made something of themselves in a way. Now, when I started my channel, I was about 12 years old. And the only reason that I even really started a YouTube channel was because for my 12th birthday, I got an iPod Touch. And I know that sounds so random and weird that was like the thing that really kind of kickstarted me making YouTube videos, but I had wanted to do it for a long time and I just didn't have the means to do so. I didn't really have a capture card, I didn't have anything to record with, and that was kind of like the first thing in which I could actually film anything with. So when I got one of those, man, that kind of, I guess, opened up the floodgates, and I started recording Roblox videos on my very terrible Sony Vaio laptop that I had back in the day. And I started recording Call of Duty commentaries off my iPod Touch, which I would set up on like a bunch of stacked books and like aim at the screen in the PlayStation. It would just be Squeaker Optimus playing Modern Warfare 3 with his friends. And, pretty humble beginnings, I would say, especially when it turns out that 8 years later, I'm about to hit 1 million subscribers on that same YouTube channel. I'm still uploading video games, gameplays, I should say, and I'm still just talking shit for a living, and 12-year-old me would have never have seen that coming when I was talking about whether or not I thought Black Ops 2 was going to be a good game, and then it ended up being probably my favorite video game of all time, if not like top 3. There was no chance I could have ever predicted something like this happening, and I would love to say that I knew that this was going to happen because even through high school, like I was fairly confident in my channel and stuff, but I had no clue. And it was definitely hard, I mean, when people don't believe in you, that provides a very different feeling to you know what I'm saying? And people believed that I would maybe be something, right? Like my family, I hope at least, thought that I would be something. And from what I know, that's pretty much it. Like in 4th grade, my teachers laughed at me when I said I was going to do certain things and told me if I'm ever rich to make sure to send them a check in front of the entire class. And I had a middle school teacher who every single day of my life berated me and made me feel as if like I was never going to turn into anything because I sucked at math. In high school, when people found out that I had a YouTube channel, they laughed at me and made jokes about my channel, which, I mean, to be fair, I was making some pretty goofy ass videos. But I mean, you think about things like that, right? Because a lot of people, they don't understand the idea of somebody doing something different. I think especially where I come from, because everybody's family works, in some manufacturing job or a healthcare job. And that's kind of like the only real options that a lot of people have if they want to stay here. And then there's this kid who's not pursuing, going and working at some factory. He wants to be a YouTuber. And a lot of people just didn't understand that, which is cool. But what's funny now is now that I'm about to hit, 1 million subscribers in the next few days, a lot of the same people who laughed at me have basically tried to emulate me in a way. A lot of people that I went to school with who looked down on me for this, they now have started YouTube channels, or they've messaged me privately on social media and congratulated me on my success and all this different stuff, man. And as somebody who never necessarily believed in himself, when you see that kind of thing happen, it's a very weird feeling, because it's not that I really care about their validation, but it's almost like funny and self-fulfilling in a way to see that like I defeated pretty much like a lot of the odds, you know what I'm saying? Because the odds of becoming this large on YouTube are very small to begin with. And it all really comes back to the fact that I got an iPod Touch for my 12th birthday, and that I got a camcorder for Christmas, and that if 13-year-old me wasn't playing Black Ops 2, listening to Drake and Kendrick Lamar and Meek Mill and Kanye West to a certain extent. I wasn't a huge Kanye fan then, but if I wasn't listening to all of this and hyping myself up and making myself believe in myself more and consistently uploading for over 8 years, almost a decade of my life, it's been almost half of my life that I've been making YouTube videos, then I would never be in the situation that I'm in today. I mean, I almost want to tear up, to be honest, but I'm not going to do all that. That's corny. But like, if it wasn't for you guys watching these videos and supporting me in other ways like merchandise and memberships and following my Twitter and interacting and commenting and sharing videos with your friends. I even have people who they watch my videos with their parents, which seems really fucking weird to me because like to keep it a buck, like, I'm on here saying some pretty goofy shit sometimes, right? And, like, it seems weird that people are watching these videos with their parents, but people are, and if it wasn't for all of that, man, then, like, God only knows where I'd be, right? Like, I'd either still be in college hating my life, because I fucking hated college, or I would've dropped out, and God only knows what would've happened then, man. So, a million subscribers, I don't even know if I can adequately put into words how much that actually means to me, because it's just hard to describe. Like, I don't really have the words off the top of my head, and just kind of thinking about it almost makes me, I don't know how to describe that either. It makes me feel weird, but you gotta understand, hitting a million subscribers to someone on YouTube is like winning your second Super Bowl in all reality, or like your second NBA Finals, because 100,000, that was already completely just not fathomable at all before, right? And then I did that in 2018. And then when that happened, I was like, well, I'm a tenth of the way to a million. But at this rate, it's going to take me forever to get there. And it only took 2 years. So it's like, at this rate, I'm in the same place now to 10 million subscribers that I was back in 2018 to a million. And that's very odd to think about. And 10 million subscribers is a shit ton more. But I mean, I never rule anything out at this point, dude. And with that being said, though, I can't thank you guys enough. I really can't. I mean, it's been an incredible journey, and I hope it doesn't end soon. But, I mean, at this point, if everything were to stop tomorrow, then I would be completely satisfied with everything that I've done here. All this has really done has motivate me even more to just keep going, which, I mean, a lot of my life also wasn't really fathomable. I didn't find any inspiration in things like that. I didn't find motivation to keep going simply because I was doing well. And I've got that figured out now, man. So thank you guys. And until my next video, this is Optimus, about to hit 1 million at any time, and signing out.